Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which is sometimes, I mean, indigestion. Sometimes it's like, what's happening down there? It's a little gurgly, little burbly, just a little like, is it gas? Is it something else? Is it a full on? My insides are going to come out. I mean, is it Ebola? But at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet, just like oh, boop, like a little fart.
Like Ebola? Like Ebola?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You know how your
That's
insides would come
hilarious.
out?
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
that.
It's never
Yeah,
happened to
when
me. Also,
no,
I've
in
removed
outbreak, that's what happened.
anything that has to do with like excrement
Ebola.
from my body.
Yeah.
Okay. So this episode, um, again, I'm at the point where Alex is on my nerves. Something is wrong with her, and she's not to be trusted. She's a Looney Tune. She is, in fact,
Mm.
a crazy person. And she's young, so it's like a feverish. Like and you know what it is? It's because she sounds like a born again. She's very born again to me. Like 6 years
Yes.
ago, everything changed. But I'm like, you're barely 30. Isn't she just barely 30?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
mean you mean from like what 20 to 24? She's like in my 20s. I'm like, girl, your 20s was basically the last 6 years. Like, what do you mean in your 20s? I just heard. Okay. Anyways, Alex and Adriano, they're in the oldest market in Napoli with some very red tomatoes, and they're meeting his mom and the mom's partner to learn how to make his favorite pasta dish. So she's hoping by meeting his mother, like Adriano will become all of a sudden a monogamous practicing Christian Catholic who works on undoing systemic racism. Like she just hopes that like this meetup, I think she's what she's thinking is she thinks she's going to meet an old black granny, like a Southern Baptist black granny. And she thinks that that black granny is going to just put the Holy Ghost in that boy and make him understand that a God-fearing woman, is sitting next to him, and that this is the woman, that God put in his path. That is what she thinks is about to happen at these people's houses. But now that's not what happens. She got her a
No.
good old silent Catholic, not an Irish Catholic, not a Roman Catholic, like a good old just. I mean, maybe she is Roman because she's Italian, yeah. But like,
I know what you're saying. Not an Irish Catholic though. Like an Irish Catholic, like a good Irish Catholic grandma would be like, "Oh, you better not do that," But like an Irish grandmother is just kind of like, I'm sorry, an Italian grandmother is just an Italian woman.
yeah, yes,
Like they just the Catholicism, is just there because it's like the Rome, and Vatican. So it's like I'm assuming like so monolithic that like in the totality of like of most Italians are Catholic
hmm
in
hmm
that situation that I don't feel like they're so fervent about it or fervent about it.
yeah.
Like, but I would
She's not the Bremen Firestone or whatever it is.
Yes, no. But I do know it's interesting, but there are really intense Catholics. And
She's not one of them.
there's the ones that really aren't that intense about it. They just happen to be, but like, they just like, move about their lives. And it's hard for me as like a Catholic to understand the in your faceness of, you know, Christianity in the West or,
hmm
which
hmm
because like for instance it's wildly to me insulting and inappropriate for another human that isn't like someone who I believe in or ordained by someone I believe in to like put hands on me and pray over me as if they have any jurisdiction and I believe in them over me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like
hmm
as a Catholic, we're like, look, if you and I believe that women should be priests and they were in ancient times. Like if you're going to tell me you're going to be chaste and or you're just going to give up a vow of poverty where your whole life is to be of service and you're not making millions of dollars because there's no like private jets, like for most, like priests or whatever. I'm not saying that there's been like absolute
Oh, the Pope.
corruption because of the
Pope, he got
popes
a
or
private
whatever.
jet. Yeah, he got a
Yeah,
private jet. The Pope.
obviously there's been a lot of like sexual shit. So I'm not like trying to like be on some
Big
soapbox
ups.
about Catholicism. But I will say that like that's why it's weird for me to be like, oh, Catholics I believe in like that guy can like I can confess to that guy or I wish I could be that girl, but it's like not just going to be like you, and you can't just like pretend that you want to pray over me because you're going to put some magic shit on me. I'm just like, I don't know, it's weird.
I can see why you believe that it's weird. I also think it has roots in, like, I mean, I know white people do it too, but I don't know who came first, black or white, when it with this. But it feels very much like an integration of, whatever whatever religion or not mysticism, that makes it negative, but whatever religion the slaves practiced, mixing it with the hand of being a preacher, because that's the one field that slaves were able to go into. And, like, especially in the American Christian church, charisma is a part of it, right? Charisma is a part of getting anyone to join your club, cult, group, right? And so you have to have a very charismatic preacher. A preacher is often the one in your community, like back in the day for Black folks, who could read because they could read the Bible. So they were endowed with a lot of power. And then a next step up, or the next step down from being like a Baptist preacher in the Deep South, is an old black lady. An old black lady, an old black mother who's had kids, who's been in the kitchen, who raised her kids, her grandbabies, raised the neighbors' kids, and always found a way to make water out of wine, and buy two fish and a loaf, and make a meal for everybody. And so that is the next, like, like, sacred person in the Black community, is old black mother of the church. So I think that's where all of that comes from, the mysticism part added to you know Christianity / whatever. But I know there's a whole fight, Protestants, Catholicism, there's a whole thing. But anyways, so it's just really interesting that that's what she thought was going to happen. It did not happen that way. Okay, she learned to cook that meal. It looked good. I couldn't tell what the protein was. I thought it was chicken.
Like beef.
It might have been pork. Oh yeah, see, I don't know.
Or veal?
No, maybe it was something I couldn't identify. So she made that. Mother was very surprised and impressed of her cooking skills. And then they sit down to eat, and she brings up religion. She
interrogates them.
So inappropriate to bring up religion at the dinner table when you're just meeting somebody. And she really believes that she's about, and it's so interesting because her brand of Christianity is very different than the Catholic branding of Christianity.
Yes.
So the fact that she doesn't recognize that she can't just say things like, well, if a man loves God, loving God is how you know how to love your in a relationship. And I was like, who the hell told you that nonsense?
I agree.
That should make no sense. And I was like, oh, here she come with all this, like, backwards nonsense, as really the reason that threw me away from the church. The shit that just don't make no sense is that somebody put those two things together and saying it like this, huh? If what I'm telling you is that, woman, thou art lucid, and the reason why, woman, you don't have a man is because you're not dealing with the men that God is putting in your face. Let me tell you right now, and you need to have a God-fearing man, okay? A God-fearing man. Say it for me, church. God. Yes. And then and then, and that man can't love you unless he love God. How do you know how to love unless he know the love of God?
Yeah, I know she really has you in her head. She's just like, I can't get out. And even if she's in Italy and there's like Italian music playing and there's just like a fresh dish. It's not fresh pasta because we saw them break off but looked like she just like broken off some pasta, honey. So it had a little bite. I mean, she can't get it out of her mind. And like, now here's the thing. She knows it can't work. And I think that she would like to think that if the God thing could just click, it would be the thing. But they are so vastly different. And he is just like, I'll love you my way. Isn't that enough?
No, because God provides the roadmap to how to love. Because she was just out in the streets, I don't know, from what, 18 to 24, just sucking dick, having threesomes, drinking. She was out here. You know what I mean? And then she got to church and someone then told her, hey, girl, you don't got to fuck that other girl in order for him to like you. And she was like, oh, I don't? They're like, no. She's talking to me. She's telling us trauma. wrapping it up as just like sin, like normal ass sin. No, no, girl. Like the
Yeah.
rest of the heathens aren't out here
Yes.
necessarily having threesomes.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes.
so
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
want you
Yes.
to know that that is not an indication of wrongdoing and or devilry.
Yes.
And so she starts to cry because she says that they're ganging up on her. And I said, didn't nobody tell you to bring this fucking conversation up? You tried to get them to gang up on him, and the tables
Yeah.
got turned on you. So like that's what you get, and that's what you deserve for doing this. And mom is like, yeah, no, I don't understand why she just can't just love my son. He's a great person. Like,
If he loves her, I mean, what do you want? Yeah. Yeah, she made some foolish choices. So let's move on. But when but later on, basically, so later on they get another fight in the car on the way home. Um
she
if
says,
you
like the breakup.
yeah,
You broke up with me twice. Twice.
twice. She really broke his heart. Like, and he broke up over threesomes. So now he's like, if I don't care, I don't care. But he's like, I don't know. It's like they're together, but he is still deciding in his mind whether the threesomes things is like too much. But I think this is not going to work out. But I mean, that mom was like, I get it. She's really, really hot. She's really beautiful,
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Luke and Madeline. So he wants a 19-year-old who comes from, oh, sorry, you said this. Yeah, who comes from, God bless, to like know and understand the concept of a prenup that you're now just bringing up. And you've already like got engaged to someone. Like you should bring up the prenup. She should bring up the prenup before you get engaged to someone.
Yep.
And then have the reaction. And then from there be like, oh, okay.
Then we can't get married. Yeah, I'm gonna take that ring back. Thank you so much.
I'm not gonna even I'm just gonna
Yeah.
keep what's in
I'm
my
not
pocket in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like got nothing in my pocket, I guess. You're right.
Yeah,
It's the
no, you're
ultimate
right. It's
yes.
crazy to me that because my first thought was like, he's like, I need you to grow up and understand that this prenup is necessary for any people who have assets and blah blah blah. And I thought to myself, he wants a barely baby. He wants a 19-year-old fetus to understand the logical reasons behind a prenup. This is a person who has never known any two people to ever get a prenup because she's not like a rich girl. Like rich
Yeah.
girls who have money from their family in which to lose to a fool are the ones who get prenups. That is a rich person's game. Like I know it happens. It may happen, and non-rich people, like whatever. If you're foolish to sign a prenup for a man who isn't making X amount of dollars, like I wouldn't do it. But if I met a man who was a millionaire and he didn't give me a prenup, I think I would be a little suspicious. I'd be like, "Are you
Yeah.
planning on losing all your money? Like, what? Why don't you want to hide it from me?
Do
Like,
you
why
have a
don't?
bunch of debt and you think that I'm the richer one?
Yeah,
Like
like what's what? Or you love me? Okay.
no, you fucking don't. I'm someone who won't believe that anyone actually loves them. That's why I can't join like a club that would have me as a member. So same vibe.
But it's just like it's so weird that he thought that that's what she needed to do, and he's trying to have a conversation with a child who knows nothing and is only just offended. So I'm offended by him. And so she stomps off in her stupid
Mm-hmm.
ass ugly dress
Mm-hmm.
and she goes into the car. He tries to explain to the producers why he's right. I mean, we all know why he's right, but like he's really holding on to that one apartment. Like if that's not the lifeline for he's like, listen, if she divorces me and takes everything, I have this apartment. I have this apartment in Colombia that I'm making so that I will at least have some kind of passive income. Like he's really holding on to it like it's on Millionaire's Row or something. I'm not, it's like, is this
Yes.
Monopoly and this is on like Park Place? I just don't know. So she goes into the car. He goes into the car after her because she calls him while he's doing his confessional. And she acts like such a fool in the car. Chris.
She's pouting. I mean, you're right. Like, she's a fetus with fingernails, and she's just like, oh, Luke, you don't trust me, it's just, yeah, I mean, ugh, and he's just like, I'm going to hold you firm. So basically what ends up happening is they go back to the I don't know the place that he rents for her, but she leaves, goes to her grandmother's house, takes the dog. And the next morning she just like pouts, stomps her way back. Obviously like just had gotten out of bed, like wearing the PJs, like she didn't brush her hair or anything. It looks like she smells. She comes in, he's like, "Oh, baby, I'm so happy to have you back." She's like still pouting, like, and then she doesn't get her way, but then they just decide to like not fight.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I show you him my loyalty over and over for 1 whole year. 1 year. She's like, you've taken half of my life.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
have done this for a whole year to prove to you that I'm down and I'm with it. You're the one who lies. You're the one in debt, not me. And so he's like, well, baby, I see we're not going to get anywhere. And he tells the camera that a prenup is non-negotiable for him. But he's like, I don't want to fight about this anymore because I love your stupid little stinky face. And so then they kiss like nobody's in the room. And that really bothered me. It really bothered me. So that was the end of their thing. They're going to table the good old conversation. Now we have Aaliyah and Sean. Now this was the sweetest of the sweetest things that's ever happened.
Yeah.
It was really sweet. It was so fucking sweet. So
She thinks it's sweet. Yeah, no, it was a great thing to watch, a great proposal, but let's get into it. So, we know that Aaliyah was raised by her grandparents, and we know that they're like super conservative and like, weren't really into her expressing herself and her sexuality and gender. So basically, but we get to go meet her mom, and we get to hear some backstory about her mom, like basically she had Aaliyah very young, and she couldn't really like give to Aaliyah what she knew Aaliyah like needed, and she had to work, and so that's why she gave it to the grandparents. But now she's older and has another child and has more stability, and now they can like have a relationship. And then Aaliyah's like, and straight up, I'll just be honest, it does feel like she is lovely and very open and not judgmental about what I'm going through, but it's also for her a way to kind of reclaim a relationship with me, knowing that it obviously wouldn't be able to happen as an adult if she didn't do this. So we get another food scene, a lot of food scenes. This food scene's awesome. She's making like rice, like literally like the minute Aaliyah comes in the house, she's like, I'm hungry. Did I mention I've been hungry? I'm hungry right now. No, I need food in my mouth. I'm very fucking hungry. And she's like, yeah, I get it. Like, I'm a growing girl. So basically
that's me.
it's,
That's
yeah,
me. As soon as I get to my aunt's house, as soon as I get to any matriarch in the family, I'm like, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Leah's like, yeah, give me food. It's like yummy looking. And she's like, I'm having my 25th birthday. Do you want to come? And mom's like, absolutely. And she's like, and you're going to meet someone special. We've been dating since 2021, like,
Yeah.
doesn't seem that far away either, but okay, Leah. And then like 2021, remember that year? Duh. You're like, yeah. Like that was like year after the COVID. Like that's a year into COVID. I definitely do remember it. But then we have like Sean, who's gone and done a 180, right? Sean, who's like, oh, I'll tell you who I like. The person named Douglas used to know that was a demure Douglas, and obviously this is a live Aaliyah. And that's a dead Douglas. So Sean has just, I think this is where the producers come in, and we have to know that like, maybe this is why it seems like such a flip, is now like, oh, great. Okay. Well, great. I'm still in. And not only in, doubling down. So he decides to propose to Aaliyah, and if this is more the only reason why we had them on the series, it was worth it, which is that Sean, in his like celebrity knowledge, had direct access to Anita. Now, I have heard of Anita, but I don't know Anita's songs. Tell me about her. Do you know anything about her?
I've heard of Anita. I don't know her songs either. They're all in Spanish. So I've never really gotten knee deep into it. But yeah, she is like a huge pop star. I don't know. I'm always like, when anyone compares anyone else to Beyonce, because I'm like, no, Beyonce is Beyonce. You cannot be, because Beyonce is the world's Beyonce. You get what I'm saying? So like, it's not Brazil's Beyonce. You know what I mean?
World,
like,
yeah, of course.
And listen, yeah, and you know how I feel about Beyonce. Like, I don't have super like supportive leanings, but what I'm saying is,
I know you don't.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, put some respect on her name. And Beyonce's, it's like literally saying, oh, he's Brazil's Michael Jackson. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson is the world's Michael Jackson.
You mean Soulja Boy? That Brazil, but wasn't that?
Yeah. It's just like so crazy to me that people say that, and I'm like, don't say that about Beyonce. It's not true. It is not true. So,
yeah, like because Anita could be like Brazil's
Because
Carrie Hilson or
because
Brazil's
yeah, because we would know who she is. The same way we know who Shakira is because like Shakira was, whatever country she's from, and I forget, Venezuela,
Colombia.
Colombia. So Shakira was Colombia's Shakira, and then Shakira became the world's Shakira. So
Yeah.
like that's what I'm saying. Like you know what I mean? Like if the world is gonna know you, the world will know you. The world knows Celia Cruz. The world knows certain specific iconic Latino whatever, and like they're who they are. Anyways, but it's still really great that they got Brazil's Katy Perry to 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 propose to Aaliyah. You know?
I mean, yeah, like no, I think it's Brazil's J-Lo.
Okay.
I
Brazil's
think it is
J-Lo.
J-Lo. I
Okay,
mean, I
okay.
don't know. I don't can maybe Nita can
I
sing.
gotta hear her sing. I gotta hear her sing.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Let me see.
maybe she's like, that's why I wanted to give her Katy Perry. Like she's Brazil's Pink.
I think
You know
she's
what I mean?
sexier. Let me think.
Okay. Then she is Brazil's.
She's a singer, songwriter, dancer, actress, and occasional television host. Boy, she gotten really, really pointy nose job. Really pointy nose job.
What's the first one? Singer, songwriter?
Yeah, let me think. Career. Armageddon. Oh geez.
I'm gonna say Katy Perry. Katy Perry. Or Katy Perry.
Yeah, now you are. Yeah, she is Katy Perry.
Were you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of the song host. Yeah, now
Yeah.
and she kind of changes all the time. And boy, God, that nose job. Wow.
But anyways, so Brazil's Katy Perry, Anita, she proposed to in like a recording that Sean just got, which is like fantastic. Like that's fantastic. And she had the ring available. That's a Janet Jackson nose.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a that's a LaToya, Janet, and Michael nose.
LaToya nose. Yeah, like 'cause I think LaToya. Yeah, that was a LaToya nose. Whew, I know that, yeah.
I honestly think that Janet has had her nose reshaped because it doesn't look as bad as it once did in the 90s.
That's why I said LaToya, because LaToya still looks like that.
Yeah, LaToya is still looking elfish.
Yeah, like she's like one of the little witches that like makes, or the little fairy that take care of Sleeping Beauty.
She is. So that proposal happens. Everybody's super excited. I mean, even Aaliyah's little brother is crying. Like, and Aaliyah's stepfather is like, I want to hang out with you, Sean, see what's up. I was here for the Aaliyah support from her family. And so was Sean. Sean was like, I did not think it was going to be this. I thought it was going to be way more conservative and awkward. But no, those parents were like, hey. Mother was like, my daughter, my daughter, my daughter. And I was so here for it. It felt so normal and not like awkward, and that was what I needed. And I hate that I have to even mention that we're grateful that we didn't see like people's parents and stuff being ashamed. It wasn't Gabe and Isabel, it wasn't anything. It was just like real chill from the beginning. So I love that.
R.I.P. Gabe and Isabel. We're not even together anymore. But yeah, God bless. I agree. Like Jackie coming in, everyone be like Jackie, which is like her friend that speaks really good English. And then obviously the stepdad coming in and giving Sean like a really like bro handshake, like was LOL to me. He was kind of like, he's like, let's go to lunch. Yes. And of course the stepbrother crying. I don't know if it's stepbrother or half brother, but
half brother.
Half brother crying over how much he knew and how special that proposal was. Like it was so quintessentially obviously something that Aaliyah would love, which made the proposal so much more important, because I think that throughout this entire season, we've been like, well, we want her to be happy and we want you to see and like know who this person is. And that proposal definitely felt like,
forgiven.
Yeah. I was like, is this like a season 2 in a making? I don't know. So, but
yeah,
it's funny because they can go on happily. Well, we haven't seen their wedding yet. They would go on maybe before the 90 days.
Yeah.
Then have the wedding and then go on 90 Day Fiance. If it's right, maybe they go on regular 90 Day Fiance now if Aaliyah comes to America.
Yeah. Okay. Or they do it before the 90 days and there's a different problem that happens in Brazil and we don't know if she's going to get the K1 visa. But that would be an annoying season. So anyways, I really loved it. Really loved the fact that the mother noticed that the son, that, Aaliyah was sad for most of their life, and then this really just brought them out. All right, Kyle and Annie. I don't really know what happened in this one besides there was yoga. Kyle went and got his STI test because he lied to her and didn't admit to having sex with someone in Norway and UK. And then we have the bestie, and then their talk is boring. I didn't pay attention to it.
Their talk, I mean, their talk is really boring because I sort have been wanting, and I had asked for this scene, which was what looked like a normal sounding board of a person, to have Annie look at Annie in the eyes and be like, "What are you doing?" But in this scene, we don't have her friend Steph around Kyle. So Steph just keeps saying bananarama things like, well, you love a challenge and, the heart always wins. Like, oh, are you just saying that because you're like some like bendy, like pretty person on a cliff doing yoga? Which, by the way, Annie does not do that much yoga in her life, but yes, her friend Steph for sure. I mean, like, what? Because if you knew Kyle, you wouldn't be like, well, her heart will always do what her heart wants. Like, you need to like knock some sense off this cliff, your friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I want to be like, where's the scene where Steph gets to see what the heart she thinks wants, which is Kyle. Like, Kyle going to this like STI clinic when the streets are like, well, you're on Dr. Phil and didn't do this. And the fact that he's like, yeah, it's because not just she asked me about my Australia live sex sperm donation, but I just did one. And I literally want to be like, in the UK and also one in Malta, like I'll be like, I was like, buddy, but he is doing it. It's so wild to me. And I know what's going to come next week. That's the biggest thing we didn't get, because next week is what they've been gearing up for. And I feel like it's calculated now, knowing what this scene was, which was him getting this STI thing, because the STI thing for him was a way, and this never made sense, to kind of gloss over the fact that she wants him to stop doing live donations. He's like, okay, well, I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm going to try and make her happy by getting a STD test, which is nothing that she ever actually asked for, although she should have. But now we're going to have the scenes for next week, which I have been waiting for, which is they're going to tease us with the fact that they might fuck. So the fact that we have to like watch the before/after/look at that woman in the face, knowing that is like, it's too much for me. It's too much.
He's gross, and she's not to be trusted, and she's gross too. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you would like to see the visuals of what you're listening to, you can join us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month. You get the visuals of what you've been listening to, tickling your eardrums, as well as live every first Monday of the month. So if you're interested in that content, please go ahead and join us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10. But if you can't do that, Chris will tell you how you can support us free. Chris?
Yeah, just go to your social medias and I'm gonna vacuum. Anyway, go to social medias and type in @DocuSweeties on Instagram, @DocuSweeties on TikTok, @DocuSweeties1 on X. We have a Facebook group, the DocuSweeties Podcast Facebook group. We have a YouTube @DocuSweeties. And if you haven't yet, give us 5 stars and a helpful review and a comment wherever you can. We really appreciate you, and we'll give you more. Okay, more. How do you like it? How do you like it? All right, we'll talk to you later.
Give me more. Okay, bye.
Bye.